In this trade, I'm waiting for the F period to come back to the purple highlighted area in the middle of the screen that I'm pointing out right there. I'm also talking about if F can't break the E, then that's a possible entry right there with the stop still down below that purple area. Right here, I'm pointing out that this is actually the value area low from yesterday. We reacted to it in the E period. I'm expecting the same thing in the F period. I just want to see it break that E period low. I don't really want to get into it here, so I want to see it break this E period low. Right there, it does it. I put my first set in. I'm waiting to see if it goes a little lower. I put my second set in. Right there, so I have two sets of two. Now I want to see this spring out of this low value or low volume area, get back into this node. In this trade, I make a bad decision. I don't give it much room at the end just because I feel like the market's changed a little bit and it's not pushing as hard as it was earlier, like in C period. But I talk about how similar F period is to C, and I'm waiting to see if G is going to be like D, how it didn't pull back at all and just took off. I kind of, I don't know if it was just because I was talking or because it was moving so slow, I didn't see that G was almost exactly, F was exactly like C, and G was basically exactly like D, and I just kind of missed it. And I just felt like it was going to fall back on me. So I closed it and missed the entire big push up in G period. Other than that, I was pretty happy with the trade. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see future videos of how I trade market profile and volume profile. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below. So I got in this trade when the F period pulled back to this highlighted area. There was some buying there. And this is also the low of the value area from Friday. So we've already hit this POC. We bounced off this area once. I figured that we would do it again. And we hit the POC here. So now that I'm seeing a little support here, I'm looking for it to break these highs. I would take one target either here or here. And then I'm looking for this market profile POC, which I have in order here right now. Or I'm looking for this half back from Friday. And the ultimate goal would be to retrace this entire value area up here to 92. But I would probably take it right here at the 100% of the initial balance at 87.75 if we get there. I would take my first set here at this, the overnight high. I want to see what kind of strength we get on this to hold my second set. Can definitely bring this up, so I'm not going to give all that back yet, or at this point. Now I just want to see, can we break this E high up here? How well do we do that? Or are we going to kind of slink back into this area? In that case, I'll cut it here and look for another entry. And this possibly could have been the target here. So this possibly could start to fall back into, the earlier trading. You got half back way down here. So I want to see some pretty good strength to get through this area. Like I said, I'd be looking here at this POC. First step is to break the E. Then we're looking through this POC. Then I'd be looking at this half back. I'm kind of looking at this over here. So, here would be a point that I would look at. That's going to correspond kind of with your half back area. I don't think this low, but you could pay attention to this if you wanted to. There's no reason not to watch it. Your volume profile does fade off here, but the ultimate goal would be this 100% in initial balance here. These large targets are great, but you don't want to get fixated on them because you'll start to trade for that and lose track of what's actually happening down here. I'm just adjusting this so I could take one here instead of both of them. And then we'd put one, let's put one up at our ultimate target here at 87, knowing that we can manually take it if we want to at any point. You can do the same thing with your stops. I don't want to do another rotation with this. So you might put a stop up here, just below 160 or 260 or so. Looks like it's kind of rocking between the overnight high, which is this orange line, and your POC. So this is where I want to see it pick up some momentum and get over this POC. We got to put one more stop in here. This doesn't look that strong. We barely get to this POC or we linger here too long. I'll take one more contract and then hold that last one to see how far we can get with that. Like I said, this could be all they wanted to do is get back to this POC from Friday. And this is also the weekly POC, an old weekly POC, not from last week, but you can see how it's kind of faded out as far as, how strong it was down here. I bought this C pullback here, and this was really strong. You could barely get in it. So, compared to that, we're kind of slowing down. So really want to see this get up over this E and get to this market profile POC, and I'll bring my stop up on one contract at least. I won't want to give that back. Looks like 40 ticks is about right there, 65.25 basically at the POC. So we could take one of these right at the 40 ticks, 65.25. There's took your one out. Now you need to get rid of one of these because they're not linked anymore. So there's 40 ticks on that one. We got, I think, 25 on the first two. We got 40 on that one. And then this one, I'll just keep moving my stop up. Here's your G period. I wouldn't think you need to give up much more than, you know, somewhere in here. You can see this cut out right here. So we could at least move this stop up to 260 or so. Depending on how you want to do it. You can leave it here and see if you get this big move up. And for me, it's really going to depend on how we break this high. If we just fall back in and start ranging here, I'll have another opportunity to get in down here. So there's no point in giving any of this up or too much of this up. I could definitely see this pulling back to this overnight high, kind of like this D period did here. Pulled back. This is a settle from Friday and it pulled back to here. It opened here, pulled back, moved higher. So you want to see that same type of deal. Here it pulled back to the singles or to this D high. Those aren't singles. So there's an obvious change, right? You can see this compared to what it was down here. You're losing gas. This is why you don't want to get fixed on these, large targets. You get dreamy about this and you'll miss what's going on. I mean, we have the one target that's left way up here. We probably won't get to that. It's just up there so we know where it's at. I mean, it's actually all going to depend if we can get over this POC or not. I'm going to move this stop up. We're going to go right about there. That way we can test this overnight high, but I'm not giving up too much of this here. There's taking another run at the highs. Now you can see the F didn't break the E. So now if the G doesn't break the E, that's even worse. It definitely doesn't mean that we won't, but it's just, like I said, it's different than the way it was earlier. See how it acts here at the overnight high. I'll give this basically one more chance to try to break this. So we took one set here at the overnight high. We took one set here at the 40 ticks, basically because it was the POC. Now we have one contract left, trying to hold, see if we can get up in here. We'll have to see what kind of reaction we get at this POC. That's the market profile POC. Then I would be shooting for half back or this area. If we get through all this and it comes through here strong, the next obvious target I think would be the 100% of the initial balance here. But this also looks like a target. You can see how this volume profile kind of cuts off here. So I would just keep moving my stop up. Looks like it's trying to break that F. I think I'll move this up just a little bit more. It's either going to break or it's not. I want to be out of this. Now we're up here at 63. There's the break of the E period. Let's see what kind of reaction we get on this. There's the POC, took that out. So what I'm looking for here is this, it hit this POC. Are we going to break and keep going? Or are we going to break and then fall back into this? It's not coming out of there particularly strong at this point. just giving this a chance to regroup and take another run at this. So if we do get through here, the next spot I would be looking for is this halfback area. I think there's a good chance this will take us out, or I'll end up closing it here just because it made this break, and you can see how different it is from the way it was down here. Doesn't mean that it won't come down here or anywhere in this area and eventually break, but looks like it's going to take us out right here. It's 31 ticks. So if we do get up here, I'll follow this up with my stop, and if it comes back and takes me out, I'll be happy with that. the market's just changed so much, and I'm not willing to take another rotation down here. So I just keep moving my stop up. And it's either going to break here or eventually it's going to just take me out. It's 37 ticks where my stop's at now. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see future videos of how I trade market profile and volume profile. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below. You can see how this point, oh, there we go. It took us out. You can see at this point, there just wasn't interest in taking us higher. That was, I believe, 37 ticks on that last one. So we got two at 25 at the overnight high. We took one at 40. We tried to let this one break, and the market changed more than, or considerably from what it was earlier. And we took that last one right here for 37 ticks.